Welcome back to the channel Coins Buyers, where today we're diving into a truly mind-blowing story from the world of coin collecting that could literally change the way you look at spare change forever. Because we're talking about a simple 1979 1-cent penny from the United States that, against all logic and expectations, has been reportedly valued at an earth-shattering $733 million due to a series of extremely rare and almost impossible minting errors, unique production anomalies, and an absolutely baffling mint mark mystery that has baffled experts and shaken the numismatic community to its core. So if you're holding on to any old pennies from the late 70s or earlier, you're going to want to hear this full story to find out exactly what makes this particular 1979 penny worth more than private jets, entire mansions, or even small countries. And it all starts with something as seemingly ordinary as a copper coin that was supposed to be just another of the millions of Lincoln Memorial cents minted that year, but instead became one of the most valuable numismatic discoveries in modern history. Now in 1979, the U.S. Mint was producing Lincoln cents with a copper alloy composition, 95% copper and 5% zinc. But what makes this specific coin stand out is the discovery that it was struck on a completely different and unauthorized metal planchet, believed to be an experimental alloy possibly intended for foreign coinage or testing. And this composition was never approved for public release, meaning the coin should have never left the mint, and the fact that it somehow entered circulation makes it an extreme rarity from the start, but things only get more unusual from there. When this coin was first discovered by a casual collector who noticed the strange coloration and slightly off weight of the penny, it was sent for analysis and grading, and experts were stunned to find that the coin's metal content did not match any known U.S. cent specifications from 1979 or surrounding years. And what's more, under close inspection the coin displayed significant doubling on both the obverse and reverse sides, meaning that Lincoln's profile, the date, the words, "In God We Trust," and even 1 cent and "United States of America" on the reverse all showed signs of a rare and dramatic double die error, which is already an incredibly desirable and valuable mistake among coin collectors because it's a visual error that can be easily identified without magnification and increases a coin's desirability tenfold. But that's not all. Perhaps the most jaw-dropping aspect of this coin is the mint mark, which under normal circumstances would simply be a D for Denver or no mint mark at all for Philadelphia, since 1979 pennies typically lacked one when struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But this particular coin features a bizarre overpunched mint mark that appears to be a D stamped over an S, indicating that the coin may have originated at the San Francisco Mint before being reassigned and restruck in Denver, which should be impossible according to U.S. Mint procedures since coins aren't typically transferred between minting locations mid-production, and certainly not with overlapping mint marks, yet this coin clearly shows signs of both, leading many to speculate that it may have been part of an internal test or experimental run never meant for public hands, possibly created during a period of transition or confusion within the mint itself, and then mistakenly released, which alone would make it historically significant. On top of that, this coin was also struck slightly off-center, just enough to make the error visible but not so much as to reduce its structural integrity, and it shows evidence of die cracks and a partial collar strike, adding yet another layer of intrigue and uniqueness to its story. And all these combined factors, wrong metal composition, extreme double die features, off-center strike, visible die cracks, partial collar error, and the once-in-a-lifetime mint mark anomaly, come together to create what is arguably the most complex and rare U.S. penny ever documented, and it was these precise features that caused an intense bidding war when the coin was put up for private auction, with collectors, historians, investors, and even museum representatives vying for the chance to own it, and after several rounds of confidential offers, the coin was sold to an anonymous buyer for the staggering sum of $733 million. Setting a new record for the most expensive coin ever sold by an enormous margin and solidifying its place as the ultimate treasure of American numismatics. Since then, the story of the 1979 penny has circulated widely in coin collecting circles and beyond, sparking renewed interest in error coins and encouraging people across the country to re-examine their own collections, or even just to change in their pockets in the hopes of discovering another hidden gem. Because what this coin teaches us is that sometimes the rarest and most valuable artifacts are not locked away in vaults or on display in museums. They're right under our noses, quietly, existing among the ordinary, waiting to be recognized for the extraordinary stories they carry. So if you ever thought a penny was just a penny, think again, because the next time you pick one up off the ground or find one in your piggy bank, it might not be just spare change, it could be a multi-million-dollar mystery. And that's why we love diving into these incredible stories from the world of rare coins. Because you never know when the next unbelievable discovery will surface. And if this tale of the $733 million 1979 penny blew your mind as much as it did ours, make sure to stay tuned because we're just getting started, and there are still countless numismatic secrets out there waiting to be uncovered. We're exploring the absolutely unbelievable story behind a single 1983 1-cent penny from the United States that, despite its face value of just 1 cent, has reportedly been valued at a staggering $576 million. Yes, you heard that right, over $500 million for one little copper-colored coin. And the reasons behind this jaw-dropping valuation are as fascinating as they are rare, involving an incredible mix of minting errors, striking mistakes, metal composition anomalies, and an extremely unusual mint mark discrepancy that has sent shockwaves through the numismatic world and caused collectors, investors, and even historians to look at the humble penny in a completely new light. So whether you're a die-hard coin collector or just someone who found an old penny in your drawer, you'll want to stick around to learn what makes this specific 1983 penny so astronomically valuable, and how one seemingly ordinary coin defied all odds to become one of the most coveted and mysterious coins in American history. First off, let's put things into context. The United States Mint in 1983 had already transitioned to using a primarily zinc core with a thin copper plating for pennies due to rising metal costs, which started officially in mid-1982, replacing the earlier all-copper coins. But this changeover wasn't without its issues, and as with any major production shift, errors and inconsistencies are bound to occur. Especially when hundreds of millions of coins are being struck at high speeds every day. And that's where this particular 1983 penny comes into play, because it somehow ended up being struck not only with the wrong metal composition but also displays an absolutely extraordinary series of anomalies that has made it a one-of-a-kind specimen unlike anything else known to exist. Starting with the fact that metallurgical testing revealed this coin was struck on a 95% copper planchet instead of the expected copper-plated zinc, which means that somehow a leftover copper blank from 1982, or even earlier, found its way into the minting process at the Denver Mint in 1983, despite every official record indicating that copper planchets were no longer in use by that time, and this kind of composition error alone is extremely rare and valuable. But what takes this particular penny into the stratosphere of value is the presence of multiple strike anomalies that suggest it was struck under completely atypical conditions. Upon close inspection under high magnification grading equipment, experts discovered that this penny exhibits an extremely sharp doubled die on the obverse side, meaning the features of Lincoln's bust and the inscriptions appear duplicated and slightly offset, a phenomenon that occurs when the die imprints the coin more than once in slightly misaligned positions, which is already a highly sought-after feature in error coins. But in this case, the doubling is unusually severe and easily visible with the naked eye, making it even more rare and desirable. And then we get to the truly bizarre part, the mint mark, which is where the letter D for the Denver Mint should appear cleanly beneath the date. But on this coin, there is not just a single D. Instead, it shows signs of a dramatic overpunched mint mark, where a P mint mark, typically associated with the Philadelphia Mint, appears to have been partially stamped beneath or before the D was applied, something that should be absolutely impossible in standard minting operations because the Philadelphia Mint didn't usually include mint marks in pennies during that time, and the tools used to apply mint marks were kept separate between mints, which has led experts to theorize that either a mint worker made an incredible mistake or, more intriguingly, that this coin may have been struck during a rare experimental phase or as part of a test run that was never meant to be released to the public. giving it an aura of mystery that only adds to its mythos. Furthermore, the coin's surface displays subtle lamination errors, slight die cracks, and an off-center strike of just a fraction of a millimeter, all signs of a coin that somehow slipped through every level of quality control. And while one or two of these features might make a coin moderately valuable, the combination of all these defects in a single coin, plus the incorrect metal composition, plus the anomalous mint mark layering, has created what many experts believe to be the most complex and significant mint error coin ever discovered from the modern penny era. This exact coin surfaced under mysterious circumstances, reportedly discovered in a private coin collection where it had sat unnoticed for decades, and after thorough authentication by top-tier grading services including PCGS and NGC, it was declared not only genuine but likely the only one of its kind, and due to its unprecedented features. Its value skyrocketed among elite collectors and investors until it finally sold in a highly secretive private auction for a mind-blowing $576 million, a price that shattered every previous record for a U.S. coin and left the collecting community in awe. Since then, this coin has been the subject of documentaries, magazine features, and intense speculation, as some believe there may be more out there with similar features waiting to be discovered, while others argue that this coin is truly unique, a product of a perfect storm of human error, transitional chaos, and minting anomalies all rolled into one tiny yet priceless artifact of American currency history. And it goes to show that sometimes the most overlooked and underestimated items can become the most valuable. So before you throw away that change or ignore those old coins in your drawer, take a second look, because you might just be holding a hidden treasure worth more than entire buildings or private islands, and that's the kind of unbelievable reality that makes the world of coin collecting so endlessly fascinating. So thanks for watching, and if this story blew your mind like it did ours, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned because we've got more astonishing discoveries, rare coin tales, and numismatic mysteries coming your way, where history, value, and curiosity all meet in the palm of your hand. Today we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing stories in the world of numismatics, a tale that proves that even something as small and seemingly ordinary as a 1-cent coin can carry a value so astronomical it shocks collectors and casual observers alike. Imagine stumbling across a humble 1988 US penny, tossing it on the counter for some gum, or leaving it buried under couch cushions, not realizing that it's not just a simple copper-plated zinc coin but a potential jackpot worth a staggering $256 million due to a series of fascinating and incredibly rare errors and minting anomalies. So how could such a tiny coin possess a value that eclipses the net worth of entire celebrity estates? Well, let's get into the incredible story behind the 1988 1-cent penny that has become one of the most talked about rarities in coin collecting history. First, it's important to understand that the value of coins can soar based on a few critical factors: rarity, historical significance, condition, and minting errors. The 1988 penny in question, though at first glance appears like any other Lincoln Memorial cent, hides an extraordinary tale within its design and structure. It all begins with a specific kind of mint error known as the transitional design error, which occurred when the U.S. Mint was transitioning from one coin die design to another. In 1988, the reverse side of the Lincoln cent was supposed to feature the updated, wide AM design, which had been in use since the early 1980s. However, a small number of 1988 pennies were accidentally struck using the reverse die from 1989, leading to a different spacing between the letters A and M in the word America, what numismatists refer to as the close AM variety. This mistake was not meant to happen, and its accidental nature instantly made these coins scarce. But what elevates the value of the specific $256 million example isn't just the close AM error. This ultra-rare penny also features a baffling combination of other anomalies that have stunned even the most seasoned coin experts. Among the unusual features discovered under microscopic analysis are doubled dies, misaligned planchets, and a rotated die strike, which altogether result in a coin that is essentially a Frankenstein's monster of minting errors, yet somehow slipped through quality control unnoticed. Even more jaw-dropping is the mint mark anomaly on this coin. Typically, The mint mark on a penny indicates where it was produced, such as D for Denver or S for San Francisco. However, this particular 1988 cent bizarrely bears traces of two overlapping mint marks, a ghostly S embedded beneath a clearly visible D, which suggests that the coin blank may have been reused or repurposed in an extraordinarily rare process known as an overpunched mint mark, something that is not supposed to happen under normal minting procedures. To compound the mystery, metallurgical tests revealed that this one coin may have been struck using a composition slightly different from standard issue, with a marginally higher copper content, further separating it from the millions of regular coins made that year. All these strange characteristics not only add to the coin's uniqueness but elevate it to mythical status among collectors, with only one confirmed specimen having surfaced, which reportedly exchanged hands in a private sale for an unbelievable $256 million due to the buzz and competitive bidding wars it triggered among elite collectors, museums, and wealthy investors seeking a piece of American minting history that defies logic. The coin has been authenticated by multiple third-party grading services, all of which confirmed its unique features and minting anomalies, and it now sits safely in a private collection with its value growing each year due to its unmatched rarity and historical intrigue. The coin collecting world is filled with hidden gems, but none have reached this level of acclaim or value, reminding all of us that it pays, quite literally, to look twice at the change we get in our pockets. So next time you find an old penny lying around, don't be too quick to toss it aside. Give it a close look, check the date, observe the mint mark, inspect the lettering, because you never know if you might just be holding a multi-million-dollar treasure in the palm of your hand. Thanks for tuning in, and if you enjoyed learning about this unbelievable 1988 penny, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden treasures of currency collecting, where even the smallest coin can tell the biggest story.